Well, we are going to be talking about halfway through the year. We are coming up on the end of June, and I wanted just to kind of get everybody realizing that we are 6 months in. It's a little shocking. It's a little nerve-wracking. And I know several people just had kids graduate from whether it be kindergarten or 6th grade or 8th grade or high school or college. That really is the start of our summer. And for those of us, it is usually the height of us selling real estate. So hopefully you have buyers, you have sellers, you have prospects, you're doing open houses, you're doing different things to get out in front of people. And you should also be at this time assessing what your yearly goals were and realizing that you should be at 50% of those yearly goals. So I'm going to pick on some people. Leela, since you're here for the first time in a while, what were your yearly goals, Leela?
For this year, I was supposed to buy, this is just, are we talking about just any goals? Because
your yearly production goals. Sorry.
Okay, production goals. Okay, well, production goals, I really didn't have production goals because my goal was to to sponsor in agents.
Okay.
And so starting up with Steve, I mean, I only wanted to do 10, but I only got 1.
Okay, so you're probably a little bit behind where you plan to be.
I know.
So that also shows that you need to be laser focused over the next 6 months so that you can continue to work to get to that goal.
Yes, that's very true. And Steve can attest that I don't make all my phone calls every week, so that's the hard part. But yes, I do need a laser in.
Gotcha. Very good. How about you, Miss Tammy Brock? You got to unmute yourself first.
There we go.
There she is.
Well, hi, Lelis. I set my goal for 10, and I've got 2.
Too close?
I'm a little behind. I'm 2 behind for my half year.
Okay, there you go.
So I'm busting it. I'm in escrow right now, so yay.
Well, good for you. Good for you. That's awesome.
Thanks.
And Perry, you're still new to us, but what did you set for your goal this year?
My goal, so thus far, I really haven't set a long term yet, but
Okay.
Not knowing what the market was like or is like, getting back into it, my goal now, being new, is to have at least 2 or 3 open houses a week.
Okay.
And generate 1 or 2 realistic prospects, buyers or sellers in that time period, or at least pliable enough to bring into reality so they will buy or sell.
Okay, fair enough.
So I have 2. I've been on, I think 3 weeks of open houses.
Okay.
So I have 2 prospective buyers that now I'm trying to hone down to.
Okay, fair enough.
A target.
So if you guys don't know Perry yet, he is newer to the office. You'll see him. He sits in the middle cubicle and he's plugging away, learning how to do open houses, learning from Steve. And he doesn't have a set goal of closings. Right now, he's just focusing on 2 to 3 open houses and getting some of those to convert to buyers. So there is lots of different, avenues which people want to, whether it be buyers, sellers, just doing the actual work. Or you could be like Leela and Steve and really focusing on the agent production side. So I was reading this week and I thought for those of us that are a little bit behind on their goals, because I too am behind on my goals. We have closed 2 properties. I have 1 in escrow and I have about 4 listings that are all about to hit, and I have 2 buyers. But my goal was to at least do 12 this year. So I am considerably behind as well. So I pulled this off of Inman, and Kelly will have a copy of this. I just printed it to a PDF. She'll upload it Friday. But for you guys that are here on the call this week, she'll have this. So I just want to go over this with you guys. And it's interesting. You guys can look at this and plan. You can work with what you think is best. These are 40 ways for you guys to go out and try and drum up business. And some you may say, no way, I'm not doing that. It doesn't work for me. Or I just don't want to choose that avenue. And others could say, you know what? I never thought about that. So the first one is, it says, little help, please, social media posts. I don't know if you guys ever do this, but instead of just posting about information of, hey, look at this house I did, or look at this I showed, what about asking questions to engage people in your posts. So a little help, you could say, hey, I am looking for a plumber. I'm looking for a babysitter. I'm looking for whatever, and get people to engage in your posts. And here's the thing, it doesn't even have to be something that you're trying to accomplish. It can be someone you heard that says, hey, I really need a babysitter. And you're like, hey, I don't have one, but let me post and engage my social media people and say a client of mine is looking for a babysitter. They moved into their new house. They need someone. Anybody got a high school student that might want to engage and make a couple bucks? So just something to think about. So little help, please, is social media posts. Buy coffee, a cocktail, or lunch for someone in your sphere of influence. How many of you are spending at least an hour a week live and in person, belly to belly, breaking bread? There's all these buzzwords and terms we use that are out doing something to engage your sphere of influence face to face. Brendan Moore is probably the one I know that's the best at it. He and maybe the most consistent. Audrey Cheek is also very good at it. She gets together with her clients, past clients, and Brendan always meets with a past client. And I want to say his is only once a month, maybe not once a week, but it is something that he is doing to engage his team. Number 3, Perry's favorite, open houses. I know Leela and Tammy, you guys have lived by these for the last several years in real estate. I know Steve preaches it as his number 1. If you're doing open houses, that's the best way to get out there in front of buyers and sellers. Jordan Brunell is probably the person I know of that's been the most consistent this year and gotten business from it. I want to say he's at 4 or 5 closings this year, all from open houses, every single one. Something that you guys may not think about, call 6 to 18-month-old expired listings. I want you guys to think through this. Right now, so the first 6 months of this year, the market has started to shift and warm up. But last year, 12 months of last year, 9 months of last year was ice cold. People didn't know what to do. The rates freaked them out. Sellers were trying to list their houses at values that probably weren't worth it at that time. But those people right now might be the right time. Someone that put their house on the market last year, say April or May, at what they felt the value was, we lost 11.8% over the last 12 months, was March to March, 22 to 23. Well, now the market has bounced back. So those people that were thinking my house is worth 600,000 and it was only probably going to get an offer of 525 might be closer to that $600,000 range now. So expired listings might not be a bad idea. There's lots of different ways you can do it. You can call on them. You can do a free CMA for them and drop it to their house. You know, it doesn't really cost you much, but a couple bucks for paper. If you can find their email address, you can send them a video of the CMA saying, hey, this is me. I'm Gary Meek. I'm the local expert in Roseville, Rockland, wherever you're at. I did a CMA for you. I know you tried to sell your house last year. The market came down. It's bounced back up, and you're probably at that same value you wanted 15 months ago. Would you be interested in having another discussion? So something to think about. Host a first-time homebuyer seminar. Now, I know that people have done this in the past. The cool thing about homebuyer seminars is you can do everything online now. You can host it via Zoom. You can post it all over your social media. You can get, you can be doing Facebook ads. You can be doing Google ads, Instagram to try and drive people to it. Then you get yourself, your title rep or your escrow officer, your home inspector, and your lender. You all do a little 5-10 minute segment and you have a 45 minutes homebuyer seminar, and doesn't cost you anything other than if you want to spend some money on ads. And if you get blanked, you know, you didn't rent out a room, you didn't do, you know, drinks and food and all that stuff, is what it is. So something to think about. Develop a buyer's guide for newly engaged couples. What's her name? One of our agents is also a lender, and she goes to every single, what's it called? Like there's like bride events, marriage events. What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, like bridal shows. You can create a buyer's guide, because a lot of times when people get married, they've got good jobs, so they're getting married, and the next thing is going to be a house and then hopefully kids and whatever that looks like. So creating a buyer's guide for those people and giving them the opportunity to say, here's the process, here's what it looks like, from getting pre-approved to looking for properties, the inspection process. You could create a website, you could create anything you want. And a lot of that time you can do that for minimal cost. And it's something you can offer to people that maybe there's not available, you know. So they'll get QR code, tell them scan the QR code, pops up right on their phone, and it's a website. We can do websites pretty much for next to nothing. Optimize your Google My Business page. Who has a Google My Business page? Anybody? Tammy, was that a yes, or was that a I wish I should? So I just paid for Ogvo. They were on about a month ago. We spent $250 a month, and they have already started messaging our clients. And I have 4 5-star reviews, and my Google page is got up like 1100% for my total views. So I've never done any of that stuff before. It really is something that helped. I was willing to spend the money. But like I said, to get all those 4-star reviews, it really has boosted my page opportunity. No benefit from it exactly yet, dollars and cents, but something to think about. And it doesn't cost anything to set up your Google Your Business page. We just paid to have it optimized.
And it's $250 a month.
For Ogvo it is, yes, and it's a year contract, so $3,000. But like I said, Google My Business page, you can set up for free. It's totally very easy. Host a going away party for your sellers. You can do that. And then host a housewarming party for your buyers. Has anybody done this? No. Something to put you guys in front of all their clients. Good job, Leela. Going away party if people
I don't do it all the time, boss, but I've done it before.
But think about it, for $400 for food and social media posts that where they're going to bring their family and friends in, gives you an opportunity to be in front of those people. And that's probably their 15 to 20th best friends, people from work, whatever, that are going to need to buy and sell. So I think that's a good one. Join a lead sharing group like BNI. You guys all know what that is. There is groups of people. It's like $20 a month. You meet and have lunch once a month. There's an insurance person, a realtor, an HVAC person, blah, blah. There's like 20 people. Pay this money, goes into this little kitty, and they're supposed to refer within your group. So if you guys can find those, there's like $100 for the year. There's some that go up thousands of dollars, but I mean, you can find an inexpensive one. For sell-by owners, that is another one that I know people work with. Not my favorite, but hey, who knows? Veterans United Realty. If you are interested in working with veterans, they are a real estate company that focuses specifically on veterans, and ultimately they send out referrals to areas. So just something to think about. Ready Connect Concierge for agents, formerly Op City. Many of our agents have worked within Op City. There's also Redfin, and then there's the internal EXP stuff. So go to Workplace and look at the internal page for lead generation. HomeLight is another company. Roxanne in our office is known for working with them. They usually work with top tier agents that are doing, you know, like 5 deals a month, but doesn't mean you can't get on their list. And so you guys, I would be looking at those. I would be writing these down. I'd be signing up for Realty Connect, HomeLight, Ojo, Estately, Redfin, Rocket Homes, Upnest, Agent Pronto, Fast Expert. Those are all companies that you do not pay until you close. So I would be adding all of these. I'd be going to their websites. I would be adding them as referral partners. So I get leads from Ojo. I get leads from Estately. I get leads from Redfin. I get leads from Agent Pronto. I'm signed up with Upnest. I've never got anything. Fast Expert. I've never got anything, but I'm signed up with them because I want leads coming in. I'm not closing enough deals. I need to get more. That's how I do it. Zillow, realtor.com. Those are more paid for upfront stuff. I know Audrey in our office has been working with Zillow. She's paying $1,000 or so. Her lender's paying $1,000 or so. And that is bringing leads into them. And they have 1 closed already and 2 or 3 that they're kind of working with. And they're only like 2 or 3 months in. So will you pay $2,000 on a referral? You know, 25, 35%. And actually, it's probably more than that. It's like $3,500 on $10,000. If you pay for Zillow, realtor.com, you're paying for it up front. You know, but then you're not paying the referral on the lead.
That's a one-time fee, right?
It's a monthly fee.
$1,000 a month.
Mhm. There is a group at EXP. The guy's name is Mark Palos. He's up in El Dorado Hills. They spend $20,000 a month, but he closes like 300 deals a year. So when you got 20,000 bucks,
Yeah.
you split it between your lender and you're closing that many deals and you're making $1 million.
Yeah.
It makes sense. So economy of scale. Colleen, I see you got your hand up. Unmute yourself and ask your question.
No, I was saying I do housewarming for buyers.
Oh, good job. Good for you. That's awesome. Good, good, good. Glad to see you engaging. Nice to see your pretty face. You just had a high school graduate, if I remember correctly, right?
Yes, thank you.
Yep. So Zillow Realtor, geographic farming. This is where you pick an area that you are specifically want to market to. Could be 500 homes, could be 1,000 homes, could be one small development. It could be 10 developments in Roseville. I just moved to West Park. And we are going to market to that area. We got to decide what sections we want to market to. We live in Solaire, so we might look at that and geographically farm how many homes, how many pieces of mail we want to send out to that group and see if that works for us. Ask for referrals. Who asks for referrals on a regular basis? Good job, Tammy. Good job, Tammy. So this is one of those things. If you are not in touch with your database, they may forget that you're in real estate, and you may realize like, hey, there's for every 10 people, you know, they know 10 people, which gives you 100, right? If you're not asking for referrals of those 10, they don't know to ask for referrals of their 100. So you guys are missing out on opportunities if you're not communicating to your sphere of influence. Post a listing in a local Facebook buy, sell, trade group. It could be your listing. It could be somebody else's listing. All you have to do is ask. We all have KV Core. KV Core gives you the ability to boost, and I want to say it's $10 a day, any listing you want. So if there's a listing in an area that you want to target, if there is a listing you're going to be holding an open house for on a Saturday or a Sunday, I would be boosting that Monday so that I can get all those leads pouring into me that want to see that house over the weekend when I'm doing that open house. So something to think about. Circle prospecting with the new listing. You guys all know what circle prospecting is? No. So circle prospecting is when you get a new listing, you get the names and phone numbers from your local title company. It costs you 8-10 cents a lead, something like that, or 10 cents a data point. And then you can call and say, listen, my name's Tammy Brock. I'm in the area. I just listed 123 Main Street. We're going to be holding it open on Saturday. Would love for you guys to be able to come in, take a look at the property. Would love to get your feedback on the price. Maybe you can pick your neighbors. And then while they're there, you can say, hey, what does your house look like in comparison to this one? Oh, we have a bigger model. We have a smaller model. Oh, we remodeled ours, or ours is original from 1975 and they remodeled theirs to the 9s. So just giving you opportunity to engage with people. Circle prospecting with the recent sale. Same thing. You're just calling neighbors. Hey, I just sold this house at 123 Main Street. Mr. and Mrs. Smith are going to be there. You know, they're your new neighbors. They have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. Something you can do to just try and engage and get them to get to know the neighbors. Use buyers as bait for circle prospecting. Do you guys know what that means? When you have a buyer that's looking for a property, 1,500 square feet in Lincoln, and they want something under 500,000, you go to a neighborhood that would have that type of house, and you call every single person that owns and say, hey, I have a buyer. They would love to live in your neighborhood. And are you thinking about selling it, or your neighbors thinking about selling, anything like that? Even if you don't have a buyer, you can ultimately use that same tactic. It says bait. That sounds a little funky, but something to think about. Where'd I go? Nope. Yep, 31, probate. As much as I hate to say it, we're in that time of life where we have a generation that is literally passing away on a consistent basis. Excuse me. And there are people that do not put their houses in trust. So my dad lives in Sun City, Roseville. There are 3,500 homes there. 20% are in a trust. It is mind-blowing to me that you have that many people of that era that have not protected their assets for their family at the level, in my opinion, which they should. My dad's in a trust because I don't want to have to deal with probate. Now, probate, you can deal with the attorneys, you can deal with the trustee, or you can deal with Bill Heyman in our office. Bill is a probate specialist. He gets it done for about half the price. I would be going out to people. You can look at obituaries. There's lots of ways to look up this data and say, listen, would you be interested in having us come in and help you with your probate situation? Attorney's going to cost you $15,000 to $20,000. We can get it done usually for between the $7,000 to $10,000 range. That's what I would be pitching. It's a service you guys can offer. Ultimately, you get the listing, Bill gets the probate, you get to work together, and these people save money. So something to think about. Go live at the virtual open house. How many of you guys are using video every day? You guys should be doing everything you should be doing. You should be out showing property. Even if you don't have clients, you should be out looking at property every single day. Go look at new homes, look at every new home that's hitting the market. I would be doing virtual tours. I would be talking about the property as you walk through it. Give props to the agency or brokerage that has it. Hey, this house is listed by RE/MAX. It's at the $600,000 price point. Anybody wants to see it, I can show it to you anytime this week, however you want to word it. Call buyers from 2019. So people that bought in 2019 probably are sitting on a pretty decent amount of equity because things went up by 40%. Even though they dropped down by 10, that still puts us at 30% increase. That's a lot of equity position. They could be refinancing to buy another investment property. They could be turning that into a rental because they're going to move up or down. There's lots of different things. So I'd be looking back at my past buyers. Any questions yet? Anybody? No, I think that's from earlier. Call Airbnb owners. So Airbnb obviously is a huge idea. There's a lot of people utilizing it, but there are a bunch of people right now that, in my opinion, have seen it, felt like they got in a little late, and probably aren't making the money they are hoping to. There's another word called arbitrage. I don't know a whole bunch about it, but it's where you as a real estate agent go in and offer to kind of be a property manager for an Airbnb person, and you get to make a little bit of the difference in between. I know people are pitching it on Facebook. There's a guy named Pace Morby and a couple others. There are people that bought Airbnbs and thought it was the greatest thing ever, and now they're finding out that the HOA doesn't allow them to do it. The local city ordinances won't allow them to do it. Find out if they're thinking about selling. Think if they want to do a 1031 exchange into something else that's in Tahoe that might be in a better area that is allowing it, or Florida or whatever, right? So farm agents getting out of business for referrals. This is actually something that not many people think about, as I would be starting to look at agents that have DRA numbers like 00. The first two are zeros. They have been in the business for 40 years. You can kind of look at their pictures, even though they're using their pictures from 1980s, and they look like they're 40 still. The other thing is, like Cheryl Hansen in our office, I'm not throwing Cheryl underneath the bus, but Cheryl's moving to Utah in like the next 30 days. Cheryl very specifically works in the horse industry, equestrian industry. And if you have any interest in ranches, equestrian, and you're new to the business and you've got another 20 years going, you may want to team up with someone like Cheryl that's going to be leaving, that might be able to refer her business to you. And, maybe you give her 50% for the first year. And then after that, it dwindles down 5% each year. But that way she's still getting a little piece of it. She may be traveling back and forth. I don't know. But just something to think about. I would be looking for agents that are getting out of the business. And it doesn't necessarily have to be people that are older and are done. There are people that just have looked at the industry and said, I can't do this anymore. I have a friend who's been a new home guy for 22 years. He just got out of the business. He's only my age, 55. But he's like, I got out of real estate. I'm just done. I don't want to do it anymore. And he got into insurance with his wife. So that's what he's doing. So just something to think about.
I'm a 00, Gary. You can get him back in.
Ah, okay. I didn't realize that. Okay. So, farming agents and feeder markets for referrals. You could easily be talking to people in the Bay Area. Tony Gagos is really good at this. Talk to the Bay Area agents and say, hey, do you have an agent you refer your business to up here in Sacramento or in Roseville or in Northern California? Could be SoCal, could be Redding. It could be, I don't think there's anybody moving into the state from anywhere else. So maybe don't do that one. Help top producers with overflow of leads that they have. Maybe there is an agent in our office that has too many leads. Maybe there's an agent out there. I'd be looking at Facebook and talk about people that have leads, have too many leads. And I'd be offering to take them to lunch, ask them where they're getting their leads from, or if they want an agent that would be willing to run some buyers for them. So something to think about. Find an agent who has a ton of listings. Paul Boudier works at Keller Williams. He's one of the owners over there. I've known him for many years. He's got like 25 listings right now. Paul does not work with buyers. He gives most out to his team, but I'll bet you there's some overflow somewhere where if you liked Paul, got along with Paul, maybe he might throw you a lead every once in a while. Just get a standard referral, just like you do from any other company out there. So call renters for buyer leads. You guys can go to apartment buildings, go to different things like that and say, hey, who's interested in buying, right? You can also direct those people to a new home buyer seminar, something like that might work. Produce YouTube searchable video content for lead generation. This is one of my favorites. We are pouring into our YouTube channel. It is absolutely where we are putting our time and effort, my wife and I, to get our leads coming in. And like I said, we've already done, I don't know, 30 videos. We've already got our first lead. I've written a couple offers for them. We haven't got anything, but we're out, we're working. So unsolicited video CMAs. We talked about, you know, the people that had their houses listed 6 months, a year ago, give them video CMAs. All of your clients, every single person you have ever had a conversation with that owns a home or was thinking about buying in a certain area, I would be doing a CMA or an overall market overview of what's going on in West Roseville, Folsom, Elk Grove, wherever it is. And I would say, this is what the market data is showing me. And here's what the values of the houses are doing. They dropped over the last 12 months, and over the last 3 months, they've started to rebound, and they're already up back by 4%, negating 33% of the loss from the last year. So I know you guys just heard me talk a lot, and I don't really have that sexy of a voice, but you get me. So it's the way it goes. It's halfway through the year. It is time for you guys to get out and catch up. It's time for me to catch up for my stuff as well. So what questions you guys have? Unmute yourselves, get in and talk, ask questions. Come on. Okay. Or who is doing any of these things we talked about and has had some success besides Steve and his new haircut? Nope, nothing. Man.
I don't do any of those, boss, but I would like for you to kick my son in his butt so he can start working.
I am gonna, I'm actually gonna start next week a 1 hour session every week for my newbies. And I will invite anybody that is brand new to the industry or getting back in the industry. I'm probably gonna do Wednesdays at 4 o'clock. I think people that are working day jobs usually are home, hopefully by then. And we're gonna go over everything from contracts to lead generation. And I'm gonna do that for, like I said, my mentees, but anybody else that's a mentee or just wants information. So I'm gonna do a little open forum.
Oh, great. Thank you. And
Yep.
thanks to Kelly. Kelly's been awesome at really helping him too. Thanks, Kelly.
Good. Did you hear that, Miss Kelly? Yeah. So, all right, folks, that's all I got for you today. Oh, you know what? Actually, I'm going to add 2 things to this real quick. And I touched on one in there initially was look at EXP. They have a ton of stuff in their background that you can use to lead generation. They've got their cash buyer seminar express offers. Thank you, Kelly. That you can get certified on, no cost. You can get certified on it. You can get REO certified. You can get relocation certified. and they have another one. But those are things that EXP is doing to help us internally with our lead generation. And I know Chosen is reaching out to me on this, and that's what made me think of this is for those of you that are thinking that there's a possibility of an REO short sale surge coming in the near future, it's a possibility. I think the market has to shift a little bit more, but I am seeing more REOs. I mentioned Paul Boudier earlier. He is all bank repos, well, 90% bank repos, and I've showed several of his properties. So if you guys are interested in getting bank repo certified, I am going to be doing a class probably in a month-ish with everything I remember about REOs and BPOs and how you guys can get certified. But like I said, look within EXP also to get into some of their certifications.
Where would people look?
If you go to workplace, you can look up REO relocation. I'll speak about it more when I'm doing my class as well. But yeah, workplace is the best place to go. You can look at like search parameters for types of groups, and you can find REO, Relo, express offers. Those are all easily searched. And then I have one little bonus for you guys that I have heard people using is to get into groups, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, whatever social media you like. Get into groups of people that are asking questions about real estate, but do not state, I am a real estate agent. If you want to buy or sell, I would say things like, hey, if you are interested in learning about financing, and I would start to give resources. Hey, I know someone that's a great lender. Hey, did you know that you could buy a house with 0% down if you're a veteran or if you're buying in a rural area USDA loan? Hey, did you guys know that, in today's economy, you might be able to get closing cost credits. Did you know there's a Cal HAFA loan that will give you some down payment assistance? I would be offering advice and coming from a place of, I want to just be a resource. Yes. And people will then finally reach out to you after you've done this. And like I said, it might take months, but if you spend an hour a day between 4 or 5 platforms and maybe 10 or 15 different groups, and you just were offering words of advice. Somebody says, hey, I bought a brand new house and my HVAC went out. Hey, I've got the greatest HVAC guy. Here's my guy. Say that Tammy referred you. Hey, I need a landscaper. Hey, this is my guy, Jose. Steve Hilliard, said to recommend him or whatever, however you are. Just go with that and offer, like I said, from a place of, giving hand. All righty.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. You guys online don't get to win. It's between Perry and Kelly. I'll let you know who wins on Friday. Bye,
See you
y'all.
later. Have a
Bye.
great day.